Hey, welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Been a fun show so far. We'll continue the fun with a regular on the show. Happy to have him in the studio in person. Rutgers expert. Works for WFAN and CBS Sports Radio. He's a network anchor. Please welcome Joey Wahler. What's up, Joe?
This is awesome being here.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's fun studio, huh?
Yeah, really. It's like an apartment. You guys could rent this place out. You know, I got to tell you,
There's beds. See those two things over there, the Giants and the Yankees? Those are Murphy beds. Each has a flat screen in it. We got a bathroom over there that's like a Four Seasons hotel bathroom. DirecTV are gods in my eyes. We could live here.
Absolutely.
There's flat screens in those?
Yeah, as they pull out, you've got a flat screen right in front of you.
Yeah.
And after we leave here every night, it just closes up.
It doesn't have to. We got the keys. We could stay here if we want. I think I can. I'm not sure. I don't know what the rules are. No, I'm not sure. I guess I don't. I personally don't care who stays here. But
has anyone ever slept in the bed?
Shane, what are the rules on that?
I think that you can. I think that Dan does. That's my hypothesis.
Well, we know Shane. We know that Dan takes a dump in my thing and does it out of animosity and complete. It's in the can, Dan. Complete hostility.
Artie claimed it's out of love, but I think it's out of hostility.
No, I think it's out of hostility. Take that, Pelly. Take that. Mister, I invented the sidekick.
From about 1:30 to 2, that bathroom is mine.
Oh, my God. I do like Dan. He's a good man, so I'm letting him get away with it. But, God, anybody else I'd put a hit on. Unbelievable. Well, we're a family here, Joe. I appreciate you pointing that out. We're a family here. Now, speaking of families and scandals, what's going on with Rutgers? Rutgers is becoming like the Obama administration. Every day there's a new thing. There's a new thing that they're on top of. Now the person who took over for Tim Pernetti, which, you know, again, it's no secret I love Tim Pernetti.
Right.
And I think it's a major mistake they made. He was essential in a bunch of important things over there and brought football back. But I think he might be leaving at the right time because, like we were saying the other night, their schedule in the Big Ten, I don't think one win is being sort of kind to them.
Football and basketball.
Yeah, this
would be worse than basketball. Trust me.
Yeah, no, basketball. You're right.
It's gonna be rough.
Now this girl, I'll probably get insulted. This woman,
we're off to a flying start.
broad. Now this woman, Julie Herman, who took over him as athletic director. Let's be very politically correct, by the way. Look, I'm sure she's qualified and everything, but let's be very politically correct. Let's get a woman in there. Okay. Is she also black or converted to Judaism? I mean, they're gonna cover everything. Whoopi Goldberg is the new athletic director. But, you know, they're playing it safe. I'm sure she's good at what she does. But now it comes out, ironically enough, that she's not that politically correct of a person. Accused of verbally abusing and taunting her former volleyball players while at the University of Tennessee in the 90s. Is this a real scandal, and what's going on with it?
I think it is. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a disaster. I mean, it's one thing after another. I mean, you know everything that happened in the Mike Rice case. You guys had me on a few times talking about that.
Right.
They fired Tim Pernetti over that. They bring this woman in large part to clean up that mess, and now she's gone and created another mess. And there's another thing out on this today, which is that apparently there was a suit back in 2008 when she was at Louisville as an associate athletic director, where someone that was a coach at the time on the Louisville track team was trying to lodge a complaint within the department and go through the right channels to complain about what she perceived to be a lack of gender equity.
Okay. Whatever the hell that means. Another politically correct term. Gender equity. Figure that one out, guys.
As if this world will ever really have gender equity anyway.
What the hell does that even mean? Yeah.
It's a great point. But in any event, she wanted the mirage, the perception, if you will, of gender equity, Artie. And so she tried to go through the proper channels. And long story short, she alleged is that Julie Herman, when she was at Louisville, at first was receptive to her complaints, but then apparently this woman tried going to human resources, and the claim is that that was a big no-no to this Julie Herman, and she basically tried, allegedly, to sweep it under the rug.
Right, oh, God.
Now, you know, the big thing she's accused here of
It's always the cover-up, which becomes the bigger scandal.
Yeah, I mean, to me, you will get into this a little bit, I'm sure, but to me, the bottom line with this is that she should be fired before she's even hired. You know, she's not actually supposed to start until...
She's not official yet.
She's not official until June 17th. To me, the reason she should be fired is twofold. There are some, not many, who've tried to defend her, saying what she did at the University of Tennessee, which was the first issue, and may still be the main issue. There are some who try to defend her by saying, look, it was 16 years ago. When's the statute of limitations up on that? Can't someone get a second chance? Well, we all deserve a second chance. We've probably all had one in life. But
Some of us 5 and 6. Go ahead.
myself included. But to me, it's not so much what she did as the fact that she's apparently lied about a lot of it.
Right.
And secondly, and I think this is the big point that a lot of people, guys, have not brought out, and that is she's basically responded to these claims from the players at the University of Tennessee, these volleyball players under her. She's basically responded by saying not a whole lot, by basically saying, look, it was litigated. The woman in question won $150,000. And she's basically tried to say, it was settled and we're ready to move on. The University of Tennessee settled it. She settled nothing. She paid no price. Why should she be allowed to move on when apparently when she was brought these grievances by the team, her reaction was no reaction but to quit and walk out the door and never be seen again? She never paid the piper. If someone robs a bank, Artie, and is never caught and moves away, starts a new life, assumed name, never breaks another law, and then suddenly pops up caught on America's Most Wanted, people don't go, oh, it was 20 years ago. Let's just sweep it under the rug. That's basically what's happened here.
Did Julie Herman quit that job as the volleyball coach at Tennessee, or she was asked to leave?
Apparently, I mean, she has not gone into any detail herself to comment on a lot of it, but apparently from what the others involved say, she in fact quit. But basically, she received a letter.
She's like, take care. I don't care if I did something wrong. I don't care what you think about it. I'm out of here.
She received a letter from the team saying, you've verbally and therefore emotionally abused us.
I read the letter, yeah.
And, the letter was quite strong. And apparently her, according to them, the team at the time, in his late 90s, apparently her reaction was to say, I can't coach you guys. And she walked out and was never seen again. And, of course, as you know, included in that letter were claims that she had, in practice and trying to motivate these gals, she had called them whores, alcoholics, and learning disabled.
Right.
And the latest, one of the girls just held a press conference, Artie, and said, look, I was a whore and an alcoholic in college, but learning disabled, coach, now you're really crossing the line.
Them's fighting words.
Yeah.
Wow, that's strong stuff. That's strong stuff. I mean, again, I point back to this documentary I just watched on demand this past weekend about LeBron James' high school team, More Than a Game. And it talks about how his coach, his original coach, two things that were relevant with what's going on lately in the last few years about his first high school coach. One was the guy left to get a college position as a coach at the University of Akron. And LeBron James, on record in 2008 when this documentary was done, goes, I hate that he left. I hate that he made this decision. It was selfish. How dare he? I never want to talk to the guy again. Again, LeBron James doing the same exact thing to Cleveland a year later, saying, F you, I'm leaving. It's a better decision. I don't care if you don't understand, but I have to make. So what he didn't give his high school coach leeway for, he did the same exact thing. The other part about it is this guy was an insane guy, like a Mike Rice type, throwing balls, yelling, profanity, all the players say in this documentary. The documentary, again, is 5 years old. It's from 2008. And the world has changed politically correct-wise even more so since then. But LeBron James says in the documentary he's the best coach I ever had. He's the best coach I ever had. So it's like, where do you land on this issue? How much leeway do you give a coach? Where does great coaching stop and abuse, stop and end? Where is that? I mean, you as a player, where do you think? I mean, is it getting physical? Is it throwing a ball at a kid? Is it saying something personal, a profanity?
I never had any problem with any coach that I was coached by. And there was a lot of profanity, a lot of personal insults, a lot of physicality.
But what kind of physicality? What kind of physicality are you talking?
Well, when you're wearing pads and a helmet, coaches would, get up and grab your face mask or hit you.
I saw a lot of that, grabbing the face.
There's a lot of that. That there were times that I left offensive meetings after watching a film where I felt like I was on the verge of tears because I was so berated by certain coaches.
Wow, so actual words brought you to the brink of that.
Yeah, I mean, because I would be embarrassed in front of my teammates. They're telling me that I am so terrible as we're watching and rewinding me fail. In front of my teammates.
That is brutal.
I mean, there were times that was
is
really
abusive.
tough. but that's the way that I learned to play football.
So in the long run, you didn't mind it?
I thought that's how you were coached.
But
I was fine with that.
But as a journalist, Joey, where do you see the line here? You know?
Well, I mean, I think one thing that's interesting about the Mike Rice case is that he was fried, and rightfully so, for what he did in practice. But I noticed from the first time I ever saw him coach a game, I've never seen, guys, a coach at the Division I level carry on with his players during a game the way this guy did, where it was all out in the open, obviously, on national TV many times.
Bobby Knight did it almost every game, though.
Yeah, I think he was even worse than Bobby Knight on a consistent basis, because this guy, Rice, would lose it at the first possession. The jacket was off, and
that indicates a mental problem.
He'd go out of his mind. And John, you were just talking about having to watch your mistakes over and over again. I don't know if this has come out, but I know for a fact that Mike Rice, after tough losses, used to make the team watch the game right after the game.
That is
Who's
brutal.
paying attention at that point? It's not registering.
Here's a perfect example where comedy can cut right to the bone. There's a great sketch on Saturday Night Live from the early '80s in the lost years where Jim Belushi was not John. Jim Belushi was on the show. And he plays a Bobby Knight type coach, but for a chess team. So two kids are playing chess in the middle of a court, and he's like, they're just looking at the chessboard. And he goes, "Pawn to rook 4, pawn to rook 4." And the kid goes, "No!" Throws a chair at the kid, and that's comedy. But in a way, this is the mentality of these guys. And you go, okay, is that him just being a coach, or is it abusive? It shouldn't be allowed.
Well, I mean, as pathetic as it is, I think a lot of times that's judged on who the coach is and how much success he's had. I've said this a million times.
Yeah.
If Mike Rice was coming off an NCAA tournament year, he'd still be coaching.
Agreed.
There's no question about it. It's funny.
It's America. You win, you're in.
Absolutely. I was watching not too long ago. You remember the show The White Shadow?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? We grew up with The White Shadow. Coach Reeves.
Coach Reeves, yeah.
At Carver High School.
Carver High in L.A.
I was watching a rerun not too long ago, if you remember. There would be episodes where Coach Reeves would come into the gym to start practice. He was very sarcastic and smug, right?
Right.
A lot of these traits that we're talking about. And he would walk into the gym sometimes, if you guys remember, and he would go, "All right, ladies, let's get to work, ladies."
Yeah. Say ladies.
Nowadays,
you think you get in trouble for that?
Salami and Goldstein be on outside the lines.
Salami, Goldstein.
Maybe Coolidge would be like, just talking about ladies.
Thorpe. Remember Thorpe?
Sure.
No, that's right. You're right. Ladies. He would call you girls, and that was a way of being. No, I know. It's so. And the way he was funny too. Sure. You motivate through humor too. I don't know, man. I never would want that to be lost from coaching. That particular type of sarcasm and humor, and the way it's used amongst the team, behind closed doors, I would never want that to go away.